You're 58. Maybe 62. You just crushed 10,000 steps. Your watch is glowing. You're winning at this aging thing. Then you drop your keys. You bend down, grab them, and think, let me just sit here a second. When you try to stand back up without using your hands, your legs wobble. You have to roll to your knees. Push off the couch. And right there, alone in your living room, panic hits you. When did I become the person who can't get up off the floor? Nobody sees it. But you feel it. That whisper, I'm losing it. So you do what everyone says. Walk more. 10,000 steps. Your doctor told you this. Low impact. Safe. So you lace up, track your steps, rack up miles, and genuinely feel like you're doing everything right. But here's what nobody tells you. While you're crushing those step goals, something else is happening. After 40, you lose up to 1% of your muscle mass every year. After 60, that doubles. Even if you walk every single day. The muscles that let you climb stairs, get off the toilet, catch yourself when you trip, they're quietly shrinking. Your bones are thinning. Your metabolism is slowing. And your step count looks perfect. This has a name, sarcopenia. It's a dimmer switch being turned down so gradually you don't notice until you can't lift that suitcase, until getting out of a low chair becomes a production, until you start avoiding activities because you're not sure your legs can handle it. Here's what almost nobody tells you, the real anti-aging switch in your body isn't turned on by walking. It's turned on by one specific movement. A movement your body was built around. And you haven't trained it in years. When you replace just a few walks each week with this one move, your body changes fast. Stronger legs. Better blood sugar. Sharper brain. Your whole system upgrades. But here's the twist, the first 10 to 14 days often feel worse. You'll be sore. You'll feel clumsy. And that's exactly when the most powerful changes are beginning under the surface. So what is this exercise? It's the squat. Before you click away, no, I don't mean throwing a heavy barbell on your back. I mean the squat pattern. Lowering your body and standing back up. For some, that means sitting in a chair and standing without using your hands. For others, holding a light dumbbell. It scales to wherever you are. Let me be clear, when I say stop walking, I don't mean never walk again. I mean stop pretending walking alone is your anti-aging strategy. You still move. You just trade some of that time for squats. Instead of a 45-minute brisk walk every day, keep 2 or 3 shorter walks each week. On 3 other days, spend 15 minutes doing squats. That's it. You do 2 sets of 8 to 10 chair squats. Just sitting and standing. It feels embarrassingly hard. Your legs shake by the last rep, you're breathing heavier than expected. Next morning? Your thighs are sore. Sitting on the toilet hurts. Walking downstairs feels stiff. You think, I've broken myself. This is too much. In your 20s, that soreness was a badge of honor. But in your 60s, it feels like proof your body can't handle it. Your brain whispers, walking was safer. Quit before you hurt yourself. But here's what's actually happening. You've taken muscles that have been coasting for years, doing the bare minimum, and asked them to catch, control, and lift your entire body weight over and over. You've created a crisis. And your body is scrambling to respond. At the microscopic level, you've caused tiny tears in muscle fibers. Not bad damage, signal damage. Those tears tell your body, we're not strong enough. We need backup. Your muscles release chemical signals that wake up dormant satellite cells, muscle stem cells that have been sleeping for years. They start patching those micro tears, not just fixing them but upgrading them. Making fibers thicker. Tougher. The first 7 to 10 days aren't about building new muscle yet. They're mostly your nervous system rewiring. Your brain is learning to talk to your muscles again. By day 5 or 6, you sit down and stand up, and it feels a tiny bit easier. Less grunt. Your body is figuring it out. You might worry, if I walk less, won't my calorie burn crash? Here's the thing, strength training keeps your metabolism elevated all day. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. It burns energy even when you're sitting on the couch. Walking burns calories while you walk. Squats build engines that burn fuel around the clock. You're not losing. You're upgrading. Researchers at Tufts University took adults in their 70s and 80s, many living in nursing homes, people who could barely walk, and put them on a simple leg strength program. Seated leg extensions. Standing up from chairs with support. Within 8 weeks, many doubled their leg strength. Some literally got out of wheelchairs. They started walking again. If people in their 80s who haven't trained in decades can build serious strength in 2 months, then your 50-60-70-year-old body is absolutely still in the game. You're not too old. You're just untrained. Around week 3, something clicks. You sit down and stand back up without thinking about it. No grunt. No hand on the armrest. You climb stairs and halfway up you realize, I didn't grab the railing. Your legs just carried you. There's this weird, calm energy humming in your legs. Like they're awake for the first time in years. Science now sees muscle as an organ of longevity. Your leg muscles aren't just there to move you. They're chemical factories. Every time you do a squat, they release tiny messenger molecules called myokines. Those messages land on your brain, liver, fat cells, immune system and say, wake up. Repair. Grow. This is biochemistry. Your muscles are talking to the rest of your body in a language walking doesn't trigger. Squats recruit massive amounts of muscle all at once. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, core, even upper back. You're retraining the big fast-twitch muscle fibers that walking barely touches. Walking uses slow-twitch fibers, the endurance ones. But fast-twitch fibers are your power, speed, ability to catch yourself when you trip. Those fibers disappear first as you age. Squats wake them back up. Inside those muscle fibers, something profound happens. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell, start multiplying. When you walk, you run your mitochondria at low, steady output. Squats are like hitting the gas on a steep hill. Your mitochondria have to work harder, produce more energy faster. In response, your cells build more of them. More mitochondria means more energy production, better endurance, less of that my legs are dead feeling halfway through the day. As your leg muscles get stronger, they start acting like sponges for glucose. After you eat pasta, bread, rice, your blood sugar spikes. In a body with weak muscles, that sugar just floats around causing damage, gumming up your arteries, stressing your pancreas. But in a body with strong leg muscles, those muscles grab that sugar out of your blood and store it as glycogen, ready to use fuel. Fewer energy crashes. Better focus. Better mood. Way lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Studies show resistance training alone, without changing your diet, can significantly improve insulin sensitivity. When you train your legs, your brain benefits. Those myokines cross the blood-brain barrier and boost BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Miracle-Grow for your neurons. It helps your brain grow new connections, repair old ones, stay sharp. People who do regular strength training report clearer thinking, less brain fog, lower anxiety, more confidence. Nothing feels more young than being able to trust your body again. To move without second-guessing. To know your legs will catch you. Strong muscles also act like shock absorbers around your joints. They take pressure off the cartilage. Weak muscles mean your joints take all the impact with no backup. That's when things start grinding and hurting. There's another quiet shift too. You stop seeing yourself as the fragile, aging body that can only handle gentle walks. You start seeing yourself as someone who can get stronger. That identity shift is massive. You're not just chasing steps on a watch. You're rebuilding your future self. One of the biggest reasons older adults end up in the hospital isn't a heart attack or stroke. It's a fall. A simple trip over a rug. The scary part isn't just the fall, it's what happens after. Broken hip. Shattered wrist. Loss of independence. When you train squats, you're constantly practicing controlled falling and rising. You're teaching your body how to catch itself. That builds proprioception, your body's GPS system. Every time you lower into a squat, your brain is mapping angles, tension, balance. Your reflexes sharpen. Result? You're way less likely to trip. And if you do, you're way more likely to catch yourself. Bone density. Walking is weight-bearing, but the load is light. Your bones respond a little, but not enough. Squats add serious load. Bones are living tissue. They remodel based on stress. Squats are the right kind of traffic. Over time, that helps you maintain or even increase bone density in your hips and spine, the exact places where fractures are most dangerous. Posture and back pain. If your glutes are weak and your core is soft, your lower back takes the hit. It becomes the stabilizer by default. That's why so many people have chronic low back ache. As you strengthen glutes, hamstrings, abs, and obliques, suddenly your back has backup. People who do controlled squats consistently often report their chronic back pain just fades. They stand taller. Their whole posture shifts. Better blood flow from strength work means more nutrients and oxygen reaching your skin. Lower chronic inflammation shows up in your face. Less puffiness. Calmer skin. That you look rested glow people can't put their finger on. You're not getting Botox. You're getting stronger. Won't squats destroy my knees? Gentle, well-controlled squats, or even just sit to stand from a chair, are therapeutic for most knees. When you strengthen your quads, glutes, and hamstrings, you're building better stability around the knee joint. The muscles take load off the cartilage. Movement also nourishes your cartilage with synovial fluid. If you never load your knees, that cartilage actually starves and degenerates faster. Studies show people with knee arthritis who did properly guided strength training had less pain than those who just rested. Will I lose my cardiovascular health? Squats done in sets with short rest will get your heart rate up. Plus, the stronger your legs are, the easier every walk becomes. You're not huffing and puffing up hills anymore. You're not losing cardio. You're upgrading the engine. Is this dangerous at my age? Some of the best strength training studies are done on people over 70 and 80. Researchers have put 90-year-olds on simple leg strength programs. The results? Better walking speed. Better balance. Some got off their walkers. The danger is in never stressing your system and letting it wither. Start where you are and progress slowly. 2 to 3 days per week. Warm up with gentle marching or an easy walk. Do 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 sit-to-stands from a chair. If easy, hold a light weight to your chest. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Finish with an easy 5-minute walk. That's it. Slow and controlled. Soreness is normal. Sharp pain means back off and get guidance. Fast forward 15 years. 2 people are both 75. Person 1 walked every day. Hit their steps. Their watch loved them. But they never trained strength. Now at 75, they shuffle. Stairs are scary. Getting off the floor requires furniture and strategy. They avoid low chairs. They don't play on the ground with grandkids because they can't get back up. They're 1 fall away from a broken hip, and a broken hip away from losing independence. Person 2 walked too. But they also squatted 3 times a week for 15 years. Now at 75, they get off the floor without thinking. They carry their own luggage. They play with grandkids on the ground, rolling around, laughing, and stand up without it being a production. They hike. They travel. They feel secure. Same age. Completely different bodies. One is managing decline. The other is still building capacity. Studies show that strength is a stronger predictor of how long you'll live than your weight or BMI. Strength is a survival signal. Weakness is a risk factor. Most of us were taught to exercise to burn off food. That mindset leads to low intensity, endless cardio because it feels safe. But what if your main goal wasn't to burn calories? What if it was to build capacity? Capacity to climb. To carry. To react. To recover. That's a completely different game. Walking adds years to your life. Strength adds life to your years. For the next 30 days, don't stop walking. But stop relying on walking as your only exercise. Pick 3 days a week. On those days, cut your walk time in half. Use that saved time for squats. 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps at whatever level fits you. Track 3 things. How easy it is to stand from low chairs. How you feel on stairs. Your overall daily energy. Don't track your weight. Just notice how your body feels when you ask it to move through the world. If you commit for 30 days, you'll notice a difference. Not just in your legs, but in how old or young your whole body feels. Your body is not a fragile antique. It's a living, adaptable system designed to respond to load, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. You're allowed to get stronger. You're allowed to demand more from your body and watch it rise to the occasion. You don't have to accept the slow fade. You can rewrite your trajectory, starting with the simple act of sitting down and standing up, on purpose, with intention, and with a plan. If this opened your eyes, tap the like button. Hit subscribe for more science-based strategies to stay strong, sharp, and independent. Send this to someone who's walking every day but has no idea their strength is quietly disappearing. Don't just add years. Build the strength to enjoy them.